Hey guys, let's get more news from Dallas Cowboys, but first don't forget to subscribe to the channel and leave your like. Rookie Tyler Gon, the 29th overall pick of the 2024 NFL Draft, suited up with the starting offense in the team's first padded practice on Tuesday. Surprisingly, he held his own against edge rusher Micah Parsons, a two-time first-team All-Pro. Tyler Gon walls off Micah Parsons. While it's only one practice, the 23-year-old Gon keeping one of the best pass rushers in the NFL at bay is an excellent sign for the Cowboys. It's not very often that you find a human being who measures how he does, 6'7", 330 pounds, and has light feet and can just move and just bully dudes, Cowboys left guard Tyler Smith said of Gon following practice, via The Athletic's John Machota. It's just a matter of time before he solidifies things, and he's playing at that truly elite level. This offseason, the Cowboys let free agent left tackle Tryon Smith leave and sign with the New York Jets. The 8-time Pro Bowler battled injuries over the past couple of seasons, which may be one reason Dallas let him walk. In 2022, the 33-year-old missed 13 games due to a hamstring injury. Last season, the Cowboys modified his practice schedule, but he still missed 4 games with knee and back issues. If Gon stays on the right track, he could fill Smith's shoes and help the Cowboys maintain a strong O-line. The position group helped them win their third NFC East title in 3 years last season. Per Pro Football Reference, it registered the league's 5th lowest pressure rate, 16.6%, in 2023. The Dallas Cowboys headed into the NFL playoffs last season as confident as ever that they could beat anyone in the league and could be the last team standing in the Super Bowl. Quarterback Dak Prescott had arguably his best season in the NFL and got serious MVP buzz before falling off a bit in the last few weeks of the regular season, which seemed to carry over to the postseason. After flaming out of the playoffs with an embarrassing loss to the Green Bay Packers, the Cowboys were expected to be one of the busiest and most aggressive teams during the offseason in order to right the ship and capitalize on what looks like a championship window. However, Dallas did the complete opposite and basically stood pat, which caused a bit of an uproar because it went against promises made by owner Jerry Jones. With the Cowboys getting so much negative attention for a less-than-stellar offseason, Joy Taylor of Fox Sports chimed in on whether the team deserves all that criticism, via Speak on FS1. "I think the Cowboys talk out of both sides of their mouth," Taylor said. "They say that they're all in, and they say they're trying to win a championship, and they say they're trying to be competitive in the postseason, but they don't do things that other teams do that clearly are." Taylor is essentially saying the Cowboys bring it on themselves, and she's probably right about that, because all the team does is talk and hype things up, which for the past 3 decades almost always ends in disaster in the playoffs. Only time will tell if Dallas can change the narrative moving forward and finally live up to expectations, because if it doesn't, drastic changes could follow after the 2024 campaign. NFL training camp, of course, with the Cowboys just putting on the pads for the first time on Tuesday, and while many of the team's storylines are focused off the field, one of the big on-field stories will be the committee of running backs the Cowboys have assembled to replace star back Tony Pollard, who left for the Titans this offseason. In the process of praising one member of the committee, though, Cowboys Executive Vice President Stephen Jones may have revealed a very possible and prominent future roster cut, popular running back Deuce Vaughn. Jones, appearing on 105.3 The Fan in Dallas on Monday, started by praising free agent find Royce Freeman. "That Freeman guy has really impressed," Jones said, via the Dallas Morning News. "We were just talking about it, Sunday, at the scout dinner. What in the hell was he doing sitting around out there? An interesting guy to just have been sitting there. He's a great 2-3 combination in terms of what he can do as a backup," Jones said. "He's a big, thick guy. And he's a hell of a special teams player as well. He'll be a good addition and great complement to Ezekiel Elliott. And then we'll let these young guys between Rico Dowdle and Malik Davis, and those guys will battle it out. Not mentioned among that final four, Vaughn, the team's 6th-round draft pick last year. Deuce Vaughn became a fan favorite last preseason. Ironically, the Cowboys' decision to water down the running back spot by turning it into a committee rather than having one star back getting the bulk of the carries is likely to cost Vaughn his spot on the 53-man roster. He is useful as a spot player who returns kicks, but if the Cowboys can use Freeman in the return game, they don't need Vaughn. More important, they can focus on keeping 4 backs who have a real chance at getting consistent carries. At 5'5", Vaughn can only be used sporadically. He did gain popularity among Cowboys fans during last preseason when, in the opener against the Jaguars, he provided a series of highlight plays that culminated in a touchdown and chance of DUUXC. But things slowed for Vaughn from there. He had 5 carries for 14 yards and a touchdown in the Cowboys' second preseason game, and no carries in the finale. He had 23 carries for 40 yards during the season, as well as 7 catches for another 40 yards. Vaughn also had 4 punt returns for 19 yards. Vaughn is clearly a fan favorite, but this team is stretched to its roster limits, and can't afford to keep players for sentimental reasons. He could be back with the Cowboys, but more likely on the practice squad than the active roster. Cowboys hopeful on Royce Freeman. Still, on the plus side, Jones' comments about Freeman are encouraging, even if they do indicate that the Cowboys waited to find someone just sitting around before finally signing him. Freeman, a 3rd-round pick by the Broncos, is in his 7th NFL season and rushed for 319 yards on 77 carries last season, an average of 4.1 per carry, the second best of his career. He has played 79 games for 4 seasons, and has just 9 starts to his credit, meaning that while he could be a good complement to Elliott, he is not likely a threat to take the starting job. There are low expectations for the running game, despite Jones' apparent upbeat outlook. Pro Football Focus has the Cowboys' backs ranked dead last in the NFL entering the season. After letting Tony Pollard sign elsewhere in free agency, and missing out on the top backs in the 2023 NFL Draft, the Cowboys re-signed Ezekiel Elliott to be their lead rusher, PFF noted. Elliott's glory days came with the Cowboys, but his yards per carry average has dipped below 4.0 over the past 2 seasons, resulting in a career-low 69.2 PFF rushing grade in 2023. Behind him are Rico Dowdle and Deuce Vaughn.